You're muted. You're muted. Hey.
Appreciate it again. Hey, everybody.
How are you today?
Oh, man. How's it going?
I mean, feels like I've been nonstop. Thankfully, you had some issues, so I was able to eat a sandwich real quick right after I got home from work. But again, been nonstop in the best way possible. But it's crazy. I don't really get a chance right now to even read my comics, which is sad, but it's a product of the beast, right?
Yeah, I know that feeling. So, we're getting there. What killed me when my internet went down was I had just done like an unboxing video. And because I'm like in a warehouse now.
Oh, wow.
And that you're only seeing like a third.
Oh, wow.
If I spin the camera the other way, my comic book collection came back.
Hey.
And, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm like.
Did I just see that? Do you sort or did you put your boxes sideways against the wall? Is that how you go about it?
That's how the moving guys did it.
Oh, it might be something I'll have to look into because it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like is they didn't cross hash them. So I'm like, I go, if I hit them just right in my wheelchair, I'm going to be like really mad because a whole bunch of books are just going to come flying out everywhere.
Yeah. But no, it might be something I'll have to do. I literally have I have way too many boxes to know what to do with. I could probably open my own store with just what I have in my apartment. It's nuts.
Yeah, I've got, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. 5 rows across times 3 deep.
Mine are 4 rows across, but I go 4 rows high, and I cross them every time. But it's a lot, man. And I still have 2 long boxes. I hate long boxes. I will never buy long boxes again. But from when I first started my collection, I still have 2 long boxes that I need to get into short boxes because they're like the worst. When you move and have a long box, it's the worst thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. The movers were telling me that.
Yeah. So what have you been up to? What do we got going on?
We've been going through stuff and finding all kinds of cool stuff, like a Golden Age Big Little book.
What? Mandrake the Magician? What? Looks like it's in good condition too.
Mandrake the Magician. Yeah, it's in good shape. It's all attached and everything. Take my glasses off so I can read the print. 1946.
Wow.
That's almost as old as Pops. I had to get back at him. He popped into my unboxing video and yelled, "Get out of my boxers." Like, relax, I'm just cleaning out the cobwebs, buddy.
Oh, man.
I found a bunch of other Big Little books from when I was a kid from the 70s.
Was that Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, and I got a Popeye one, and further over there I have a Fantastic Four that I love and started reading again, and a Batman one.
I
So
didn't even, that's so awesome. I didn't even know they did those back then.
oh yeah,
Because right now, one of the things I think are really cool, and I don't think they'll be as collectible as that, but I remember when I was a kid in the 90s, little golden books were like the thing, there was like everything was in a little golden book. And they're doing comic book characters in little golden books now. They're not done panel by panel like a comic book, but still, that's a really cool way to introduce a little kid to Flash or Spider-Man or something like that. So I'm really like,
yeah. It's like one page of oversized text, and then like a picture on the opposite page.
Yep. And the book is real sturdy, so you can
kind of like this.
Yeah. Exactly like that. But the book is so sturdy, so it's not going to get broken when your like 3-year-old is like, I mean, I gifted one to my 2-year-old nephew, and I know he's probably like, I can't give him a comic book at that age. They're too young they're going to just rip it up. So real cool things, I think.
I'm surprised there's no tears or anything in the Mandrake one.
Were they in bags and boards or anything, or was it just out raw, like where you got in the box?
No, just out raw like this.
All right.
They were made well, and they were all printed by the Big W.
Oh wow! Holy!
And
that spine looks real good. Me. Holy cow!
And 79 cents.
Holy cow!
And that's back when the like a regular comic was like
12, 15.
No, I'm not that old, dude. I know I look that old, but.
So what, are we talking 25 cents then? What are we
Yeah, like 25, 30, 25, 35 cents, between 25 to 35 cents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
comics.
Like mid 70s. So yeah, but it was like, thick, and it kind of forced you to read kind of like a chapter book.
Yeah. Because like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. I never liked reading as a kid. I would read things that interested me, and granted, so I'm first generation American, so my family did not. There was no comic book love prior to me, so I didn't know much about comic books. So when the only type of reading I really liked doing growing up was, so I'm a big fan of Resident Evil and zombies, and they made the Resident Evil video games into a novelization. So I did read those, and I mean, they were meant for young adults. They weren't very difficult reads, but I like those. And that should have been my like thought process. Like, oh man, I'd probably like comic books, but I didn't find comic books until I was 24 years old. And I told this story the other day at Chuck. I was Googling in my little cubicle hobbies, like a new hobby I wanted to pick up. I was like, video games is fun, but it's social. I wanted something I could do by myself. So I Googled like, new hobbies, and comic books came up. And I was like, and I had no idea Wednesday was New Comic Book Day. I had no idea. It's a Wednesday. So I Google new comic books coming out on this day. And it was the beginning of DC Universe Rebirth. And that's a Flash story. And man, I've been in love ever since. But like, I don't know, man. Comic books, and now I go back and read old stuff like George Perez, Marv Wolfman. And I love it, man. Lin Wein's Swamp Thing and stuff. Like, it's just phenomenal to me.
Well, I do the other podcast I do with Thomas Hewlett from Outright Geekery. And once we do a podcast, you'll get a kick out of this. We are both Gen Xers, but the CEO of Outright Geekery is a youngin'. So every time I disagree with him, he's like, yeah, whatever, boomer. So Thomas and I, we're going to do a podcast together. I go, dude, okay, I already know what we're going to do. We're going to call it Okay, Boomer. And all we're going to do is hit the spinner rack and, deep dive and review like, old books and mags and stuff. And that's what we've done.
So, because I do the ordering at the store, it's actually real interesting to see how much good stuff DC and Marvel does not have in print currently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many good stories by great creative teams? If you want to go back and get Volume 1 of New Teen Titans from Marv Wolfman and George Perez, you can't get that at a comic shop unless they have it like in backstock, because it's no longer orderable through Diamond. So like that's an amazing story. Like, you know, the anything Wolfman and Perez worked on together is like, to me, stuff that you should have in your shop. And it's like DC makes it hard to do that, and Marvel does the same thing. You know, I'm not choosing sides, but
Well,
it blows my
DC
mind.
isn't in charge of their omnibuses and trades and all that stuff. That all goes through like a third party.
Oh, really?
And if there's an Ollie's anywhere near you,
Yes.
you need to cruise the Ollie's. When Toys R Us closed down, Ollie's bought out the majority of their G.I. Joe and Transformers stock from Toys R Us.
Wow.
And it was a lot of the stuff that they got. I'm sure most of it's gone now, but a lot of stuff that they got were exclusives that were coming out for Christmas of that year. They also got and carry a ton of trades. And at one point, they had so much backstock trade from DC that like the soft covers were anywhere from $3.99 to $7.99. Hard covers were, including omnibus editions, were like anywhere from $20 to $49.95.
Yeah, I've been to Ollie's before to check out their like a couple years ago. Well, no, like a year ago, they started getting a ton of blind DC blind bag type of books, of packs. But in them, you could see that at least one of them was those black bag Harley Quinn little black book covers that came out in like 2016, I think, or maybe even a little earlier.
Yeah, like 2015, I think.
Yeah, 2015. I'm a sucker for those things, especially because some of them had the pencils instead of the inks and everything like that. So I'm a sucker for those. I went to my Ollie's and I cleared them out. Like, I absolutely got, I think it was 5 or 6 packs. Not every single one was a Harley Quinn like that, but each one had at least one Harley Quinn in there. But for the pack, which was 5 comics, all DC, I think it was $4.99. Like,
yes, so $1 a piece.
$1 a piece, and these are new books. This isn't dollar stock. Like, you know, this isn't 90s Image. Like, I mean, can't beat it. I've never checked their trade paperbacks though. Like, I've never ventured too much further.
Well, I went into the dollar store and like years ago before I was in the wheelchair, and with my daughter, and I looked up and they had comic book packs. I'm like, oh, this is neat. Daddy, can I get a toy? Yeah, sure. And I look up, and one of the books in like the 3-pack, and it was like $2.99 for like the 3-pack. One of the books was that 90s Thanos solo series #1 that at the time was popping off for like $30 or $40. Yeah. I bought all the packs, listed the I bought all the packs I could. I ended up getting like 7 of them total. And I sold them from anywhere from like 30. One sold for 50, and the rest sold for about 30, 35 plus shipping.
It's crazy how the places that you least expect it. Because right now, what I'm noticing, because I have the Key Collector app and everything like that, is the Walmart, because Walmart does those variants and everything like that with Venom and everything. See, everybody's got a Walmart. Everybody goes to Walmart. Like, it's not like I like to use the term honey hole. Walmart's not a honey hole. Like, but Ollie's, some of those smaller places. I mean, I'm in Orlando. What sucks is every comic shop, like as soon as something gets announced, every comic shop in town is hit by like a million different people. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there are a few little places off the beaten path that are nice little spots that you can find stuff at. And, I envy sometimes people in small town America because I know they probably find some pretty good stuff in their back issue bins over there.
Oh yeah. Well, I was talking to somebody that went to Ollie's Bayou like last year, and they were like, "Don't just look in the front because they had like these big, the big bins, the big bins in the front with like all the there was a DC one and there was a Marvel one.
Yeah.
So people were hitting these things up, and of course they were trying to hit these up, thinking people couldn't get these at like a cheaper price. So buying them at the cheap price and making like $4 or $5 a piece on them, trying to sell them on eBay. But he goes, what people don't know is the bins are in the front, but Ollie's has like a straight up like book section.
Yeah.
So if you go he went into the book section and he bought one of the original printings of Infinity War, the omnibus, for $25.
Woo. Yeah, I need to get myself in Ollie's then because I personally I work in a store, man, get a great discount and everything, and I can't get my hands on a volume 1 of the new Teen Titans Omnibus because it's not orderable through Diamond. 2, 3, 4, the rest of them are. So I need to check out Ollie's, see if I find one, because like they're on eBay and they're not crazy expensive, but
Yeah, I'd rather be able to walk into a store and buy it brand new. Like Barnes and Nobles will probably have it because they get it from a different distributor.
Yeah. Well, funny story about Barnes and Noble. We're right near a Barnes and Noble. Like there's a mall across the street from us, and there's a Barnes and Noble that anchors that. And we're a bookstore, they're a bookstore. They get stuff from Penguin Random House. We get stuff from Penguin Random House. So for like 6 months during the pandemic, I guess something went down at UPS that they were messing up the labels, and our books were getting sent to Barnes and Noble, our comic books. And
oh damn!
Thankfully, Barnes and Noble's right down the road, so they're like, "Yo, your books are here. You want to come get them?" I'm like, But it was like a nightmare, and it wasn't Diamond. Like as much as I want to blame Diamond, it was not Diamond. It was UPS. I guess at the shipping center, once it gets to Central Florida, they slap a thing on it that like tells you which truck I guess it's supposed to be on, and they kept slapping the mall truck sticker on ours. It was a pain. But segue, good segue. That's kind of sorta not that story specifically, but things like that and Diamond are part of the reason we started doing a lot of self-pub. Well, my idea went up to do self-published books in the store because I know in New York and California they're still like shut down, but if we were to be shut down here in Florida, we wouldn't be able to get new books from Diamond, right? But if Diamond were shut down and let's say our customers are saying, "Hey man, I'm caught up on everything. I need new reads. What do you got?" I know that I can go into like comics related madness. I can go Spinwiz and I can be, "Hey guys, got a store. I need some books. Let me know and we'll pay. Let me know the prices." And like I know that people that do self-publish are hungry. They're always hungry. They're always trying to sell their books. And so that was one thing that like had to start thinking about this. We said, Diamond is not the only way to get comics. Is it the only way to get Marvel comics? Yes. But it's not the only way to get comics. So we wanted to extend our avenues. And I mean, I have to thank Comic Related Madness and Pops and all those people because literally, like, I was watching CromCon. Let's see, we're on 10. Might have been CromCon 7. And I'm watching all these amazing people talk about their books. And I'm like, yo, I want these in the store. And that's how it started, man, right there.
Yeah, I wrote you up as the indie comic book pimp.
Yeah, I love it. It's funny though because like there's no formula to what I'm trying to do, and I'm not saying that in the sense of like, oh, I'm Mr. Original, but I'm saying there's no formula of saying like this type of independent self-published book is gonna sell. It's kind of just like. I know my customer base for the most part, and there's totally different types of readers out there. And then I kind of get the feel, and thankfully everybody is willing to send me like a PDF so I can read it and everything. but I typically know which books are for which customers. A great example of that is Eric Dominguez's Blood of Gods. When I saw his pitch and read his book, I immediately thought to myself, that's going to be a perfect book for our D&D community. People who love D&D but also read comics are going to love that book. We bought 10 copies. We have, I want to say we usually have 8 to 10 people that buy the D&D comic books that come out every so often. So, like, we've pretty much almost sold out of Blood of Gods because people, a mixture of people supporting the self-published book that's signed. And then the other part is people actually enjoying that book. I tell them it's Elder Scrolls. I tell them it's your D&D campaign in a comic book. It really is. And they're sold, you know. I don't have to do too much more. Eric's a super nice guy, and he's been on our show. But honestly, the book sells itself half the time. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Kayla, what was that? Why'd you do that? Hold on. Give me one sec. Why'd you bark at the cat? That's not nice. That's not nice.
So while we have a small break right here, going to give a big shout out to our sponsor at SpinWiz Comics for sponsoring this video and all our other videos for that matter. At spinwizcomics.com. They are a webcomic and indie comic discovery platform. You can download the app on both iOS and Android completely free, and you can read hundreds upon hundreds of free comic books. That's right. Go check them out for yourself. SpinWiz Comics at spinwizcomics.com. And here's just a quick look of what it could look like on your device.
Hey,
perfect for a commercial. Good job, dog.
The guys on SpinWiz are awesome, by the way. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And we want to give a big shout out to somebody that was at the shop that Denny works at, the Collective down in Florida, Jonathan Hendrick, who has a new Kickstarter coming out. It is issue 3. Damn it. It keeps doing this. I sent a note into the publisher of StreamYard. I'm like, this thing just keeps muting me. I'm like, I know it doesn't like hearing my voice, but what the hell?
But yeah, John, Capable 3 is on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
He has packages that give you 1, 2, and 3 if you're behind. But Capable, man, people make fun of me because they say that I like hype up John way too much. But like I don't know what it is, but every book that John's ever sent me at the store that we've read and carried, I've absolutely loved. Like, this is no like BS to just sell you a book. And they've always sold out too. Like, this is also not BS. So I just love John. But Capable 1 and 2 is phenomenal. And it's an awesome concept that I think John knocks out of the park. And I can't wait to see what he does with issue 3. And there is going to be, we're doing at the store an anthology, like a store anthology. 4 creators or 4 teams are on there. They're having 4 short stories in there. John's is actually a story straight out of Capable. Like, it's not in issues 1, 2, or 3. It's a backup story featuring a different character, but it's going to be on our Kickstarter. We're not launching until like February or so. We're going to wait till everybody else has their things out of the way. But we're working with Jonathan Hedrick on that. His artist, Gino, from Capable. Wendy, who is Chuck's wife, Wendy Gale.
Mm-hmm.
We are also working with David Galliano and Travis Gibb. How could I almost forget Travis Gibb? We're working with Travis Gibb. So I'm super excited for that because that's going to be our first Kickstarter that we've actually ran as a store. We've supported a lot, so now we're excited to do one.
Cool. Hey, Perry Comics. We're on with Danny the Indie Pimp Morales.
I'm just, dude, I'm just excited to sell, like, to work in comics, man. Like, when I was a kid, it's like, I was born in 91. So I grew up loving video games. When I was a kid, I used to visit my local GameStop because I lived right by the mall. And I would always tell my brother, like, man, I want to work at GameStop. I want to, like, that was my dream, you know? Like, kids want to be firefighter. I wanted to work at GameStop. And my brother, like, humored me, like, you know, he'd be like, oh, it's all right. And, you know, I grew out of that and everything like that. And I clearly don't want to work at GameStop anymore. But I've kind of, like, found this whole newfound passion at the comic store. Like, and it kind of does remind me of what I thought, what as a kid GameStop, like, was to me. It's like this place I can go clearly buy the things I love, you know? But it's way more than that, man. When you go to your comic shop, or at least if your comic, when you go to your comic shop, you should be able to go in there and just talk comics, talk geekery. You know what I'm saying? Which is what I used to do as a kid at GameStop. I used to go in there and be like, "Oh, what new game?" and this and that. And we try to embrace that, man. We if you want to spend 15 minutes doing your FOC, we're about it. You know, we'll sit there and we'll be like, yeah, this sounds really exciting. This maybe isn't, you know, and we'll be honest with people. And they're like, based on you liked this, so you'll probably like this. And like, that's fun for me. You know, I mean, it's work, but it's like I used to sit in a cubicle and do the same spreadsheet 78 times a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, do the bloop, doop, doop, doop. So like, to be able to talk to somebody passionately about something, but not just I love, but they love, is, I mean, dude, you know how people say, like, oh, do something you love and you never work a day in your life? This is probably as close to it as I feel like I'll probably get. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's work, and I'm on my feet. But I mean, it's awesome, man. I mean, I worked all day. I stayed like 2 or 3 hours past like what I was scheduled to, because stuff needed to be done before tomorrow. And I come over here, I grab my chicken sandwich, I eat it, and I jump right on a podcast to talk about comics. You know, like, what's not to love, dude?
Yeah, I know. I actually I used to work at my LCS multiple times. You know, prior to the chair, of course, because my electric chair doesn't fit in their door. So
really,
yeah.
Oh,
because they're not in like a regular store. They're in like one of those strip malls that was built to be offices, not stores.
Yep.
But you know, he'll mail a lot of stuff to me if him and the family are coming up to visit me, which doesn't happen too often because they got an 18-year-old son, and you know, he's got one of those things called a wife that are always finding stuff for you to do.
That'll do it to you. That'll do it to you for sure. But I mean, yeah, it's like so before I got, this is actually really funny. So before I ever became an employee there, I was clearly a customer, you know. I had a sub at a different store. I'm not going to say anything. I had a sub at a different store, and it was just the closest store to my house, right? That's how a lot of people pick their first LCS. That's how most people pick their permanent LCS. Closest one proximity. And I had my sub there for like 2 or 3 months, and I was going in like weekly, like every week, to pick up my books and adding more books every time and stuff like that, you know? And like 3 months in, and literally it's the same guy that I've put in special orders with and everything. And he still doesn't even know my name. Like, I'm at the register. He's like, "Oh, can I help you?" And I'm like, "Oh my God. All right." So I canceled my pull. And like, I hate to sound like a brat, like I expect too much, but like, you know, that's what I want from a small business, that type of, especially if I'm coming in weekly. So, the store that I work at, the Collective, which at the time was a different store, just opened with a staff of 2 people. That's it, 2 people. And I go there and I buy a couple books. I don't start a sub. Next time I go in there, they call me by name. And that's it, you know, boom, I started a sub, right? Well, that guy that that guy that was there that remembered my name from the very first time, he was the man, eventually became the manager. He was there for a very long time, eventually went to his dream job to work for Wizards of the Coast. But I aspire to be him. You know what I'm saying? I want to give somebody the experience he gave me, you know, which was, holy cow, this is the coolest place I've ever been in the world. You know, this is adult Chuck E. Cheese. Like, and so that's really what I want to make the store. And I love that Brendan has that same vision. Brendan, even though we're not right next to Disney World, Brendan's vision is to become a destination store. Like that people who come to Disney World say, I'm going to make the 25-minute trip to the Collective. Like that's our goal. And we're going to get there. I know we will.
Well, I got to tell you, every show I do with, you know, any creator, the Collective always gets mentioned, along with another store, because I know 2 stores, and I always ask them. I go, so are you actively seeking stores to get your new books put into that haven't been in the past? He's like, yeah, and I'm like, well, there's 2 stores I know of. One is the Collective in Florida, and the other one is Jen King's store, Space Cadets in Texas.
Yep.
I go, and of course Jesse James Comics out in Arizona.
Yeah.
And I go, they're all big supporters of indie. They all got like huge indie sections compared to what most people have.
Sure.
You know, most stores, like even we don't really have an indie community in my store.
Mm-hmm.
It's like certain people pick up the oddity here or there. So he'll order, like, it's going to be something that really appeals to him for him to like even order one shelf copy.
Yeah. No, and I understand. Yeah. And that's
to put up there, but
that's why indie is kind of that what's called that, like diamond in the rough kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, that niche.
Yeah, it's the needle in the haystack. Oh, Perry, you're in Florida? What part? We're in Central Florida. But yeah, it's like that needle in the haystack for some people, because when I still didn't have a specific LCS up here, I went to like 5 or 6 different stores, and the selection of independent was vastly different. I would walk into one store and then go to another and not know that said comic existed, because the other store there was no trace of it, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to lie to you, FOC is hard. It is, there again, another thing that there's no exact formula, you know? Marvel drops a new #1 every couple weeks. Oh, out near Tampa, so you're probably only about like hour and a half, maybe 2 away, depending which side of Tampa you're at. We're in Altamont Springs, so like just east of Orlando, right off of I-4. So like you wouldn't even have to like get off I-4. But well, yeah, you'd have to get off I-4. We're not on it. But anyways,
we're building our comic shop right on the highway.
Yeah, man. There's gonna be a rest stop, and dude, we should build a comic shop at the rest stop. Like, boom, come on, let's get the money funded. It'll be on a Kickstarter.
Anybody working the late shift might have to do a little extra for one of the truck drivers, but that's about it.
Oh man, but yeah, it's just like it's real fun to like see what some of these people are working on. Mm-hmm. And I follow, in Travis Gibbs' words, all these #1s and awesome books are exciting and everything. You know what really gets me excited? Issue #2, because people are skeptical. They have fully embraced the collective initiative. They have. We have not seen an issue 2 yet. Hold on. No, we have seen. So Joey Pineda already had issue 1, 2, and 3 of his book done. So he shipped us issue 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. Frank James Bailey already had issues 1, 2, and 3 done. He shipped us issues 1, 2, and 3. But no book that we've gotten a #1 of. Actually, technically, Jonathan Hedrick will be the first person who we've carried their book that we supported the first time, and they are now hitting the sequel, as I like to call it, mm-hmm. which is big to me. And I'm not. Travis Gibb is another person here. So I know Travis is giving us Voodoo Nation's #2. I'm well aware it's coming. So I'm not worried about it. But when you get that issue 2 out, it gives you that legitimacy that people are like, oh wow, this guy's here to do this every couple months. Like he's gonna do it. You know, it's easy to put out an issue. You can work on an issue for years and years and years and finally drop it. Working on some sort of schedule, even if it's every 6 months. If you're dropping an issue every 6 months, that's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, even that's big because I mean a lot of people don't like. I realize because like you, I've been in the comic business. Since I was 16, I started working at the store.
Yeah.
Then the owner found out that I was like bunking school to work at the store for comic. I wasn't getting cash. I was getting credit. So I'm like, so I get to hang out at the store, talk comics with people, and do backstock and pricing, and you're going to give me free books. Sign me up. Hold my root beer. It's just crazy like that. Well, since Perry is talking about a lot of the YouTube community for comics being located in Florida, a lot of creators.
Oh, a lot of creators.
Fans. So I'm going to mention a creator that a couple of years ago, just about 2 years ago, moved out of Florida, but he was a regular guest at MegaCon, Martin Dunn. And Martin and Javier Lugo made this book that Blizzard bought and turned into the Overwatch game. Now, the book in my hand is called Project Overwatch. So Blizzard turned this, and this is just an ash can. And it's an era ash can because the printer forgot to include like 2 pages. And one step further, Javier did a sketch on the front cover of one of the characters. And anytime I try to search online for any information, like price-wise, if anybody's got one and it's kind of like a rarity, because there were only like 9 of these printed. There's none around.
Yeah.
They had like 1 or 2 like leftover that they didn't bring with them. And all the rest, they had to hand over to Blizzard for the deal.
Let me see that. Oh man.
This is the book that started the Overwatch game.
That is awesome, man. I love little things like that, man. I love error books and like crazy rights stories blow my mind. Like I can watch the documentary about the Fantastic Four movie from the late 80s or whatever, the one that like never got released. I can watch that for days because learning about how the rights work on things is nuts. Dude, Perry, MegaCon, we're crossing our fingers that it does happen this year. I don't think it'll happen in April. Like they're planning, like they scheduled it. I think they just scheduled it to make sure to say that they're doing it. But I really do hope it happens this year. And if it does happen, definitely swing by the store. By the time April hits, we will be in the new store, which is twice as big. And I really can't wait. It's crazy because it's all going to happen at once. But I really can't wait to get to the new store so we can lay things out. But I'm sitting here like just thinking about how busy today was. And I'm like, when are we going to find we'll find the time. But when we're going to find the time to do any of that is beyond me because like between ordering and keeping the store up to date and everything, like, holy cow, is this like a 24/7 job sometimes?
You already know what's going to happen. It's going to be triple shifts for like 3 weeks because you're going to work from sunup to sundown. And then when you lock up, you're going to be packing and moving stuff to the new store and doing setup at night. So you're going to sleep about 3 hours a day.
Yep.
you're going to drink
So much coffee.
I drink so much coffee now. And I get help because I'm crippled now, basically, all disabled. I have a PCA that helps me, with shopping and this, that, and the other thing. And he knows that I go, if something is on sale, as long as it's something I use, if it's on sale, buy it. Okay.
All right.
So my flavored coffee went from flavored coffee to dark roast.
Oh, because it's on sale.
Because it's on sale. So this week I've gone through an entire pound of Maxwell House French roast, dark roast. I have another 1 pound can of dark roast behind that. And then in one of my boxes, I found one of the big giant office things in Maxwell House that's like this big. It's like 4 pounds, like 3.5, 4 pounds of coffee. Yeah. One of the big plastic things, and the lid actually seals on it, so the coffee's still good. That one is full. I think I made 1 pot of coffee out of it before I ended up in the hospital.
Oh man, you got so much coffee.
So I'm like, that's probably enough to maybe get me through January.
That's a long time. It's a long time.
So the back cup, it's like one of the,
I have that same exact cup, I'm pretty sure. I think
one of the changes. My daughter gave this to me for either my birthday or Christmas, like last year.
Yeah, I think mine. I have one that's just the front side of that, like Gotham with the signal. Mine doesn't have Batman on the back. That's really cool.
So it changes with the temperature, and I'm like, well, there's one that really changes with the temperature that I'd love to get, which is the old classic Star Trek mug. So you put the hot coffee on it, the energy, the transporter beams them out.
Oh,
and when it starts to cool off, they start to phase back in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I've got this one, so he'll come over and make me breakfast, like, toast eggs and sausage in the morning, and he'll make me 1 cup of coffee in this, and then I've got a big oversized tumbler from Dunkin' Donuts that holds 2 of these cups in it.
Oh.
So I start the day with basically 2 cups, but they're actually 3. And I start my day, and then I at least have I'll have another cup with lunch, another cup with dinner, maybe 1 in the middle. And every time I come on to do anything, whether it's an unboxing or Creators Outlet or OK Boomer, what have you, I make like another coffee. I'm like, okay, I'll be right there. Just let me make another coffee.
That's awesome. I can't do that much coffee. It ruins me. It absolutely does. Perry, we are on Instagram. The store is The Collective. On Instagram, we are at Collective CCG. So really simple. Let me see if I can put it in the chat here.
And also, Perry, I put the link for the Collective's I want to say web store, but website. Yeah,
which is thecollectivecomics.com. That one's an easy one too.
Yeah, I put that's in the show notes, either up above or down below, depending on where you're watching us. I know you're watching us on.
He's on YouTube, I think. But yeah,
he's watching on my channel on YouTube over at Creators Outlet.
Commented it. While I'm talking about it though, if you are on the web store, we just dropped this bad boy the other day. This is a store exclusive for Adam Barnhart's shit show, which a lot of people are like, what the heck is that? Because I feel like I love Scout to death, but Scout, I feel like, did not promote this book that well. Shit show is literally if the show Shameless and The Boys just crossed over and had their own show. Rich McCoy, who's the main character, looks kind of like Homelander here on this cover, is like the most terrible person in the world, alcoholic, takes advantage of his kids by like making them work at they have superpowers as well because he does, and he makes them work at or he has like a circus where they're the freak show or whatever. But by the end of the issue, the big baddie, essentially his version of Darkseid, returns, and it's like, shit, now I gotta probably get my kids and start fighting, some bad guys or something now, right? So he can't keep just being an alcoholic. He probably will keep drinking, but he can't just be only an alcoholic. But we did a Goonies homage cover by the very talented Brian Silverbacks. And these are all exclusive to our store. Only 250 are printed. And we're only doing them at $9.99, which I thought was cool. We got a good enough deal from Scout that we can do them at $10 and still make some money and everything like that. But I thought that was cool. We're starting to do a little bit more store exclusives. We're not doing Marvel or DC store exclusives. We can't order like 1,000. We're not crazy, but we're doing them for cool books that we support. I actually just had a conversation with a guy that works at Mad Cave, and in 2021. We're really hoping to do a store exclusive with a Mad Cave book. We're not sure which ones. They're going to be dropping a lot of new properties in 2021, but we're excited to just be working with different publishers. And Travis Gibb opened the door to us doing store exclusives for Kickstarter books. So that's definitely going to be something we'll look to in the future. We're just excited to put our branding out there and help other people. Because I know when we put in orders of 250 and stuff like that, like that's awesome. That's got to be exciting to know that, you just sold 250 of your books. Yeah, and Mark London's the owner of Mad Cave. Mark London is amazing. He's written 3 or 4 of their books. But after his wave, he wrote the first original wave of Mad Cave books. The amount of talent and just genuine people that he's brought in has me, supporting Mad Cave 100%.
Oh yeah, they're putting out some great stuff.
Absolutely.
And Scout has just been on fire.
Oh yeah. Scout.
They burned their way through the coronavirus.
Oh yeah. Scout, every week they drop 1 or 2 new books, I feel like, and every week at least one of them is an absolute hit. Literally last week I think it was Shit Show, Sam and His Talking Gun, and Red Xmas, which to me all 3 were really good. But Shit Show and Red Xmas were great to me. Those were great, absolute great reads. So I love it, man. And to be fair, this is the 3rd comic store I've worked at now, over the course of 7 years or something like that, because I went to the cubicle job in between and everything. This is the only store for sure that I would find Mad Cave books at. And this is the only store that would carry as many Scout books, I think, in our area. I just did the order for January for Scout. Every book.
And are you guys doing direct orders to Scout or
direct? We do
because the whole Diamond thing. They're not good enough for us yet.
Well, no, Diamond, and you want to hear what's funny? We put in, what was it, Phantom Star Killer? So we ordered a good amount of Phantom Star Killer. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I just felt like that was going to be good, and it was.
It's hot.
Yeah, but we ordered a lot. But for whatever reason, and probably because I knew I wanted to order Phantom Star Killer, I ordered it through Diamond as well. Okay? And I forgot about it because Diamond makes you order it 3 months ahead of time for Scout. So I ordered it and I totally forgot about it. So our Scout books come a little bit earlier than the Diamond shipment because they're right here in Florida. Gets here. Literally, he can do non-priority shipping and gets here in 2 days. So I already had my Phantom Star Killers. I counted them out. I was super happy, right? My Diamond shipment gets here on Tuesday, and I forgot that there's some Phantom Star Killers in there. Every single copy damaged, including a VHS copy, which was worth $80.
From Diamond.
From Diamond. None damaged. So we report them damaged, right? We report them damaged. Oh, sorry, we're sold out. We can't give you any replacements. We'll just credit you. Thankfully, we order through Scout directly. But if not, we would have literally had 0 copies for our customers. And that sucks, and that scares me, We don't have diamond reps anymore. I think only like the top, like, I think it was like 40 accounts or maybe even less have diamond reps now, which those accounts are all like the Midtown Comics of the world and stuff like that. So we don't have reps anymore. But I know my guy, I know who I'm going to talk to at Scout every time I have a question or I need something answered. And I know who I'm going to talk to at Mad Cave every time I have a question and I need something answered. I literally just texted the guy from Mad Cave the other day and said, hey, you have the final issue of Dryfoot coming out next week. Can you double check your computer and make sure that I have some coming on my way? Because I don't know where my invoice is. Within 10 minutes, he was hitting me back. Yep, you got 5 coming back. You got 5 coming your way. They're going to be out in the mail. You don't get that service with Diamond. You don't. Like, so it pays, and actually the discount's better, but it does, it pays to do it that way. It does.
And they do something that nobody else does, is they offer readers to be able to sign up to get a mystery box every month.
Well, and it's the funny thing is their mystery box, it's not even that much of a mystery box in the sense that it's everything they have that month. Because I was looking at the the last 2 months worth, it was literally every new #1 that they dropped that month, plus every
ash can.
Every ash can, plus every Concrete Jungle was on issue 3, so it had a Concrete Jungle issue 3 in there, and like things like that. Yasmin was on issue 5, so it gives you everything. I want to say it's essentially everything that comes out in the month that you buy it for, or whatever. They're giving you everything that came out at a way bigger discounted price, because you got to think about it. Every one of those books is $4 to $5.
Yeah, and you're getting like a dozen books don't forget the ash cans are like 15.
The ash cans sometimes aren't even for sale to the general public unless you do that box.
Unless you do the box, or if you're quick enough to buy the ash can exclusive through the web store.
Yes.
And there's one other way to get them. Since we already mentioned Jen and JJ from the Comic Book Shopping Network, which I am now a member of.
Hey.
Because I'm not there selling; I'm just there buying.
Yeah.
But when Scout made the announcement that they had just done an exclusive deal with CBSN.
Mm-hmm.
Making it so that any store in that network could get exclusive, a CBSN exclusive cover for every #1 in every trade that came out from that day forward. So they get that. All the ash cans that come in are exclusive covers to them, and I mean that's where I bought all my Phantom Star Killers.
Yep.
And I'm like, and even them, their exclusives there are like only like 15.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not bad.
Anytime you can get an exclusive for under $20, I feel like it's a good deal, because like the average going rate for an exclusive cover from DC or Marvel is $20 to $30. So
yeah, the average #1 from Marvel and DC is like $15 now.
Jeez, don't remind me. Don't remind me, Will. You reminded me that I got to order and price these books.
And they're doing that basically a big preview advertisement for $7.99 from DC that they announced, where it's got like a million Batman, Supermans, Flashes, and everything. It's got it's like the homage to Darwin Cooks.
What was the New Frontier, but the homage to New Frontier.
Yeah.
And
all it is a sampler, but it's still $8. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Am I gonna buy one? Yeah, just on the chance that it's like, somebody appears in the corner of one panel and the specs go all nuts for it. I'll be like, I'll sell you mine right now, $10.
Here's the thing, like, remember, what book is it? JSA, not JSA All Stars. Oh man, I'm blanking on it. It's like Secret Origins JSA, I think it was called, or whatever. It was from like the late '90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
That was essentially a supplemental, like, informational book, right? But the first appearance of Courtney Whitmore, who is Stargirl, is in the back of that book in a yearbook photo. In a yearbook photo, because she's not drawn as a character, but it's the first appearance. So it's like sometimes things like that just happen. And I'm not gonna lie, that's a book I'm after. You know, I have every Stargirl key that besides that one, so like that's the last one I need. But it's annoying because it's not a book that was printed heavily because nobody cared. You know, like it's just it's annoying sometimes. That's why I like the indie community, because they don't print something or publish something. It costs them money to print and publish. So they're not going to print or publish something that's garbage to try to grab money because it costs them money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen an indie creator yet just put out garbage because he thinks it'll get funded on Kickstarter. You know, I haven't seen that.
And now this isn't fact, this is just my opinion, that whole thing of selling the Diamond previews section of Marvel from when they were first soliciting the first Miles Morales book is now Miles Morales' first appearance. He goes, that's not a book. That's a friggin' order form. And what jackass just paid $10,000 for an order form?
That's what gets it. It's the people who pay it make it really bad because, you know, then there's allegedly a market, and once there's a market of one, it becomes a market of more than one. You know what I'm saying?
And it was just crazy to me. Now, you actually have your first comic creator credits now.
Yeah. It's not something I ever thought I wanted to do. But Travis approached me with writing a page for Cthulhu Invades Oz, and I was skeptical a little bit because I was nervous because I like Travis. I feel like I'm good friends with Travis, so I didn't want to let Travis down. That was my number one worry. But I knocked out the page. Brian Silverback's about wanted to kill me because I went 9 panels and we lowered it down to 5. But
oh man, he hates panels.
So 9 panels was not his cup of tea. But I'm happy with what came out. He has the original of the owl that he drew for the page, so I'm definitely gonna buy that off him because that has to go on my wall because that is gonna be my first credit. But it's funny because, again, not something I ever thought I wanted to do, and now all of a sudden I got like 2 or 3 people asking me if I want to write like little backups and things like that. So yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm gonna write a anthology piece for Luke Stone in a anthology seasonal book that he has going on, and it's going to be the first part of this like a little anthology. He said to write it open-ended, and I have an idea of what I'm going with, and then if people like it, I can continue writing it in his seasonal book. And then David Summy, I believe, is allowing me to write a kill page in his Naked Cannibal Campers. So I'm gonna get to. I was always a huge fan of zombie movies, and I know Naked Cannibal Campers isn't necessarily a zombie movie, but cannibals and zombies have the same style of kills. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I believe he said he could do up 2 pages, but depending on what I have, I don't want to go too crazy. I mean, it's a kill page, you know. I mean, let's not get wild, but and David's super talented artist, so he said he'd be willing to draw that for me. So I'm excited about that. And then this other project is something that I think is like it's in the very early development stages, but a guy named by Jake Estrada wants to try to build an anthology book showcasing Hispanic and Latino creators and characters. So he's reached out to myself, David Galliano, because his fiance is also an artist and she's Hispanic. Jared LaJuan, who did Dryfoot for Mad Cave. So we got a pretty cool group of people. I think Eric Dominguez from Blood of Gods is involved. So we got a pretty cool group of people, and I'm really excited about that one because I've always said representation is big. It's hard to get Spanish people into comics if they're just reading about white people and black people. Like they want to see themselves on the page, but they don't want to just see. Just like I always tell people, as a Hispanic, I do not want to see Superman. I don't want to see Clark Kent be injected kryptonite into his blood and then some Spanish guy from I don't want to see a Spanish Superman. I want to see a new Spanish character.
And you don't want a tokenized character. You want something original and new. Because it's like, look, you can do that. Like they did that on the Super Friends show. Like later on, they had El Dorado, who I thought was a pretty cool character.
Yeah, and to be fair, Vibe is a pretty decently cool character. Whether you look at him in the old comic JSA style or like what Flash was able to do with him, Vibe to me. So, as a Hispanic and a DC fan, I feel like everybody assumes you love Jaime Reyes because he's really all you got. And I do love Jaime, I guess, but for me, it's Vibe because he's original. Jaime is just younger Spanish Ted Cord. You know what I'm saying? So I absolutely love the idea of doing something original, and I'm not necessarily doing a superhero in that book, but I'm just excited to do a character that can hopefully resonate, with people who went through what I went through growing up, and the judgment and things like that, because it's not easy. It doesn't get mentioned as much, but there are what would the word be? Challenges. There are challenges, especially when being first generation American. My mom couldn't even help me on my college application. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll be a cool little piece to hopefully give to the world sometime later in 2021. Jake, I can't believe he came up with that idea. I'm really excited for that book, to be fair. Plus, excited to work with guys like Jared and David Galliano, who I technically worked with David on Cthulhu Invades Oz. Like, our names are all in the credits, but I came on so late in the project. I'm excited to actually start from ground zero with a couple of people there. So,
yeah, you get a page here, a page there.
Shoot ideas off of each other because I know that's going to happen too. So yeah, I'm excited to go through that whole process.
Yeah, I had Brian on the other night, and for everything that I've gone through since 2016, he's like, "So, you ever think about writing a book for that?" I go, "No."
Well, and the funny thing is, I actually mentioned to Brian once if he'd ever thought about writing a book about like law enforcement, because he has a little bit of a background. Brian Silverberg has been law enforcement, and he's like, yeah, but he wasn't a cop that long, so he says he doesn't feel like he has enough experience to like actually write a good cop book. He feels like real cops would be like, oh, this guy didn't experience nothing, But I think that, to be fair, maybe I'm just gassing up Brian. I think Brian would write a hell of a cop book, like something like on the lines of Bright, or like, I don't want to say Starsky and Hutch, because Starsky and Hutch is super comedy, but like a buddy cop. Like I could see him doing a love-hate buddy cop book. I could totally see that from Brian.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah, that's his style. But
he's got a lot on his plate with the whole Terror Prime thing, and there's lots of big things coming 2021 from Brian and that whole universe that he's made up. And he was dropping a few names of people that are going to be involved with doing certain things, and since he has decided that he will no longer be doing interiors for anything or anyone, he is exclusively doing covers because he hates panels.
I believe it. But Brian is fun. The thing about Brian is Brian is a character. You know what I'm saying? Like you get silverbacks when you ask for silverbacks, and but he's such a fun character to just be involved in your project. You know, like we were so happy to do the cover with Brian, not just because Goonies homage and because he's talented, but because we knew Brian was going to be excited about it, and he was going to be, you know, up in Atlanta talking hype about this book down here in Orlando. I mean, that's what it's all about, you know, cross promotion. We carry these books, people, you know, we tell people we have the books, but then you guys also tell people, hey, my book is at the Collective, and that's all we ask, you know, but it makes everybody happy, you know, because we're selling it to our customers, and hopefully maybe if you have a fan, like let's say you're in Texas, like Joey Pineda and Eric Dominguez, but they have somebody that's been following on social media forever and they're in Florida, boom, now that person has the book in their backyard. I mean, it's pie.
Yeah, they get a hold on that book, and you know, take a day trip over to the Collective.
Yep.
And you know, pick it up and then look around and probably end up, you know, a big comic book store, and you guys have a fairly sizable one now, and it's about to get a whole lot bigger. If you go into any comic book store just to pick up your pull list, it's like going to Costco. You know, you go to Costco for like milk and eggs, and somehow when you leave, your receipt reads like $179.
Yep.
It's like, how did I spend that much?
Pretty much.
You know?
But especially now with all the indie books, because like you go in there and you think, you know, you knew what you wanted, but like 8 indie #1s came out in the last 2 weeks, and at least 3 of them are freaking hits. You know what I'm saying? And all of them are good. So it's crazy, man. But it's exciting times. I tell people, it's an exciting time to be a comic reader. I can't speak for investor, speculator, whatever. But if you are actually opening up your books and reading them, it's a heck of a time to be in comics right now, because there are really good stories out there.
Now, I want you to tell everybody, if they go into the Collective, describe to them how you guys have set up the independent section plus the spotlight.
So when you come in, we have our comics, like many stores do, all on the you know, DC, Marvel, independent. So our store, independent, was the first one you would run into. And what went before that was the New Week trades. We started realizing, well, during the pandemic, there were less and less trades coming out. So we were like, we don't need this whole thing for trades. And we started with 47 Furious Tales from William Sam Quentin. And it grew from there really fast, because apparently a lot of people want to put their books in comic stores. But so that shelf went from being something that was filled with four rows of trade paperbacks to now being 4 rows of self-published books. Almost all of them are signed. Occasionally we get them from Kickstarter. Sometimes they come straight from the printer. So they're not all signed, but most of them are signed. We don't charge anything for the signature. We just get that from the creator, you know. But they're all self-published books, like I said. All amazing people. Just as much as the books are good and it matters what's in the PDF when I'm like reading it, it matters how this person pitched it and approached us and everything. Everybody that we have on our shelf, we believe in, you know, and we think are great people, and we think they deserve the shot, you know, they deserve the opportunity. And that's what we have. It's the Collective Initiative shelf. It probably features about 24 titles. No, it features 21 titles, about 24 books, because there's a few, like I said, 2s and 3s in there now. But people like Travis Gibb, Luke Stone, David Galliano, Matt Knowles, Steph Cannon, Frank James Bailey, William Sam Quinn, Eric Dominguez, Joey Pineda, our local Ethan Kennett's on there. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Oh, Jonathan Hedrick, of course. And that's it. I think that's it. Oh, Shane Morrison from Ungodly Champion. We just recently got his Kickstarter in. Really fun book. We got that. He sent us some prints. Dominion from Baron Bell, Dr. Baron Bell. I know he was on Pops' show. We have his book. It's selling really well. And then we just got in Mike Becker and Mark Stencil's, oh my God, Young Offenders off of Kickstarter. It's a very, like, I don't want to say it's a parody book, but it's very much in the vein of Young Avengers and Young Justice, but a little more fun and everything like that. So we are supporting on Kickstarter. We support on Indiegogo, but it's real easy when people already have the books printed and we just say, what do you want for the book? Boom, boom, send it. Cool, done. But yeah, man, and we're eventually going to put everything from the Collective Initiative online so that people can, get them that way as well. But it really is a grassroots type of thing. Clearly, the creators that we buy the books from, they can sell online as well. So we don't really want to take any of their revenue. It's more of a walk-in thing, but we do want to make it accessible, especially because we do have some curbside pickup people still, because of the pandemic and everything like that. So
yeah, so people can see what's in the store, and because people that go in the store obviously will be able to see what's in the store, but at the same time, what your reader, what your regulars like. Yes. And then you can, spot like, well, I think you might like this book or that book, and they're right over here. And then when you spotlight a book, it goes right to the front of the store to the counter.
Yep. I absolutely love when I first got there, Steven had created these little things that say like, Dan, it's a blank space. And you write the employee's name, loves this. And it was supposed to be for suggestions, right? But I love it because it gives me a chance to spotlight and hopefully start a conversation on a book that somebody probably has no idea about. Because, Mad Cave and Scout aren't on FOC. If Key Collector app isn't telling you about it, you probably don't know about it. So I love to have that note there because it's like, yo, I love that. So check that out. And granted, I have a little bit of support at the store of customers that are like, well, you've never let me down with a suggestion. So if you suggest it, I get it, which I love. I love to hear it. But, so it is nice to be able to hopefully sometimes put these things in front of people that aren't seeing them normally,
Plus, you do your own podcast talking to these indie creators.
Yep, on Tuesdays, 5:30 to 6:30, because I've been double booking lately. Just easy. So many people out there, so many good books. You got it. It made sense to have more than one spot. So we go from 5:30 to 6:30, half-hour slots for each creator. Literally, so that means I'm doing one tomorrow. My guests tomorrow are Mark Stencil and Mike Becker from Young Offenders, and Dan Waiters he just recently wrote Homesick Pilots for Image. He actually has another #1 coming out through Vault called A Picture of Everything Else. So I'm having him back on the show to talk about that book, because even though he had 2 books out and they were 2 weeks apart, I have you on the show to talk about a book. That's the book we're talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I might mention something you've worked on in the past, but like that time is you to sell the book, So I didn't really talk to him about his other work. I wanted to focus on that current book. So now I'm having him back to talk about his other book.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I'm going to have Jonathan back on to talk about issue 3 now live on Kickstarter for that series, because
you'll probably have to have him back again after that to announce something really cool that we're working on with one of his books. That's all I can say right now, because I don't even know if I think he's announced part of it, but one day we'll come on the show together and we'll make a cool announcement, because we are working on something big. It's scheduled to release in April. So clearly there's some time still, but we've got something really cool in the works.
Oh yeah, it's like, I can't believe we're like rounding the corner to the year of Mad Max.
Yeah, well, by April of 2021, it'll be a year since I've been at the Collective, and I can't believe that's happened because it feels like it was just yesterday.
It's almost anniversary time.
Yeah, I know. I'm expecting big presents, Bren, Steven. I hope you're watching.
Yeah, they're gonna schedule you for another 37 hours.
I
They gotta
couldn't.
move it. They get a store to move.
I couldn't even. I made the mistake of asking Steven and Brent at the same time. But I'm like, hey, are you guys going to need me on the 27th? Because that's my birthday. 27th is Wednesday. Unfortunate. And Brent's like, no, you're good. We'll be able to survive. And Steven's like, survive on a new comic book day without Danny? And like, I also do the auction on Wednesdays with them. So he's like, no, you just have to do your birthday on the 28th, man. We can't. So it's like, yeah, apparently I'm working my birthday. But it's all right. We love it.
You're working your birthday, but you can have the day after.
I mean, yeah. And well, I'll probably have like 3 days after. He'll probably.
Yeah. It's like you cannot take a new comic book day off.
I know. It sucks, but
it's like you do the orders, you do the bringing in.
Yeah, it's everything. People expect me now.
I found this earlier, and because the plastic was so brittle, it got smashed. But I was a big collector of Ghost from Dark Horse when it first came out.
Yeah.
So,
what? Where'd you find that?
This was on the shelf of my LCS. I bought it probably 8 years ago.
Wow.
But it got, it's all.
Oh, I mean, it's still in pretty good condition, all things considered.
Yeah, it's got a big hole in the package right here.
I see.
So look, it's Holy Ghost.
There you go. That's hilarious.
Like Ralph's mouth, but it's got the exclusive comic in the back too.
Oh, that is I was wondering if that was a comic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the exclusive cover and comic of issue 1, volume 1 back there.
That's awesome.
So I'm probably gonna have, because it's all smashed up. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna end up opening this at some point, and I'll check out the issue because I like to read everything, and then I'll throw it in a bag and a board and put it in some kind of window box display or something.
Yeah, I bet you it'll look nice. Yeah.
Because I'm getting, I'm trying to unpack stuff here and there and, get rid of some stuff and, keep others and figure out where I'm putting. So I'm shifting boxes from here to there. So the toys are going down there. And I found another box that hasn't been opened yet. So I figure I'll open it here. Maybe you can see something cool.
Yeah, let's see.
I know it's toys. And let me just move that back a little bit. Little cardboard, more cardboard, all the separators from in between everything.
Well packaged.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's straight from the factory. I hadn't even opened this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's see. Infinite Crisis figures from DC.
Hey, that's funny. That's Infinite Crisis, and I was just talking about Jaime Reyes too. Because, like I said, I don't hate Jaime, I just don't love him. And that was where he first appeared, was Infinite Crisis.
Mm-hmm. It's a battle damaged Batman.
Ooh, that one's good. Good detail.
Huh? This is the new Firestorm from New 52. That series was pretty much an epic failure, but this figure looks totally badass.
Oh, that is. Holy cow. That is. Oh, wow. It goes all the way up? Oh, man.
Yeah. It goes from his head all the way down his butt to the stand.
What? That is awesome. That is a sick figure.
So yeah, that's definitely a keeper. What do I got here? Oh, we got a Donna Troy.
Oh, I did. I always liked that costume for Donna Troy, the black like galactic costume.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like the Starman one, but
Yep.
chick approved. There's two more in here. Oh, and then there's the Donna Troy Wonder Girl.
Oh, see, yeah, I definitely always liked the black costume better.
So I'm thinking right away that the black costume is probably the chase figure.
Probably, yes. More likely than not.
And then we have a very cool Wonder Woman that comes with her sword, interchangeable hands, the magic lasso, and she's even wearing the cape.
Ooh, I always loved me a Wonder Woman with the cape.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good.
That's pretty cool. What did I find the other day and opened? The DC Unmasked Series 2. There was a Superman in that, and it was mid transformation. So it was Clark Kent, but he had kind of like, ripped open the shirt to expose the super chest.
Yeah.
And the accessories that came with that were Clark's eyeglasses and their version of a clip-on shirt and tie. So it had enough white shirt to be, collared with the tie on it. So it would physically snap around his neck and not look right, but it would cover up. It would cover up the S. Then there was a Batgirl, and one head was no cowl, Barbara Gordon head, and the other one was the cowled head. Same thing for Bruce Wayne. Then there was a Martian Manhunter that had the pointy Martian head.
Oh yeah.
And then the other head was like the 1950s head with like the big Martian eyebrows.
Yeah.
Like the classic head. And then, as the huge Joker fan I am, which is probably why I bought that box in the first place, was the original Red Hood.
Ooh, yeah, the Joker one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was Red Hood. It was Joker, as a civilian, and in the tuxedo with the cape and the big red dome. And then the interchangeable head was a pre New 52 classic Joker head.
Okay.
So you could pop the head off and put that one on there. So that was pretty cool. And the other day I came across about 15, 20 years ago, DC was making those super high-end 1/6 scale 13-inch figures.
Yes. You have a couple of those?
I got a bunch of those.
Oh, nice. We'll have to do a video because I was originally going to be moving, and I think I'm going to keep the apartment another year. So I want to do a comprehensive, I want to show everybody my whole collection because, I've been collecting for 5-6 years now, and I'm pretty damn proud of it. But nobody comes to my house, so I got to show you guys everything one day.
Same here.
Yeah, I got to do a big. I just got one of our customers actually just bought me. I almost cried, but one of my customers brought me a Christmas gift, and I'm not expecting anything. I've only known this guy a year. I've been working at the store less than a year. Buys me a Christmas gift. It's this $60 Flash statue that literally I'd been wanting. He had no idea. I'd never told him, but I'd been wanting and fits perfectly in my collection. So it's just I have so many cool things, but I got to show them off one day. We got to do a video together where we just do.
Yeah, that. I didn't get all the 13-inch figures because on and off I was a DJ for 35 years.
Yeah.
mostly at the gentlemen's strippy clubs. So I had a lot of money, and prior to having a kid, then I had a lot less money.
Yeah.
But this was in between work. One club let me go, and before the next club, months later, picked me up, I wasn't able to buy a whole bunch of the 1/6 scale figures that I had actually ordered, so I felt like really bad. So I didn't get a Robin. I've got a Batman. It's the classic black and gray.
Yeah.
I got a Superman, not the one I wanted. I get the Brandon Roth one.
Yeah.
From Returns. I actually have two of those. I've got the cheap like $19 3-foot one that was given to me, but I got the Brandon Roth 1/6 scale.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
I got the Flash. I got Aquaman. I actually have two Aquamans.
Oh.
And I got a Green Lantern.
Ooh, nice. The
Green Lantern was the first one I bought, and I fought not to open him, and I still haven't opened him. But it's got the window boxes so you could look at him.
Yeah, exactly.
And his mask isn't on, but he's got like the traditional Silver Age Hal Jordan mask.
Yeah.
That actually snaps over the bridge of his nose.
Oh.
And stays on.
That's awesome.
And the reason I wanted to open it is because he comes with his power battery.
Oh.
And there's a little watch battery in it, and if you twist the bottom of his actual lantern, it lights up.
I can't believe you've gone this long without opening it.
I'm like, so I've gone like 20 years without opening it. And now I'm going to have to try to think of something else later on tonight so I don't go and open it.
Oh, man. But, Will, I'm going to actually finish up my dinner, and then I got to open up the store tomorrow. We're opening up early because of Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to get you on, talk about some of the comic stuff you're doing. And
we got to do it again. To be honest, when we're set up, we'll give you guys a sneak peek of the new store. So before the grand opening, but once we have the flooring and everything, I'll run you guys through the new store. I'll do this with the Wi-Fi in the store and my laptop, and I'll show you guys everything. Hopefully by then we have a Scout vending machine, tons of cool things like that. We're really going brand wide, like we're really going all in with all this stuff. The Collective Initiative shelf should hopefully stand out even more than it already does. So I can't wait to share that stuff with you guys in March. So hopefully just like 3 short months.
That'll be awesome. Thanks for coming on tonight, and I'll see your stream tomorrow night with all those guys.
Yeah, we're gonna have a real fun one. So join me tomorrow, 5:30 to 6:30 Eastern time, just 1 hour. 2 guests. Well, technically 3 guests: artist, writer, and then just writer. But yeah, man, we're gonna have a lot of fun. I always love talking to these people. I'm really passionate about these books. So if you can join me, that would be awesome. And I think I might see you. Pops is talking about having me on for the CromCon pre-show. So I'll probably see you around then, Will. But thank you.
And I'm co-hosting the Saturday too.
Yeah, so I'll see you then. But thank you for having me on, man. You have a good night, and if I don't see you, happy holidays.
You too.
Take it easy, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. I'd like to thank Danny Morales for joining us. Thanks to Perry Comics for jumping in the chat tonight again. And we will see you Wednesday night. We're shooting a little later this Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be joined by my buddy Nate from Slab Stands. And he's got a whole bunch of new stuff going on. And we're going to take a look at a bunch of his products and, see everything he's got going on and where you can find him on social media as well. Everything is in the show notes, either up above or down below. The website address for the collective is there. Danny put the Instagram for the collective in the chat. It's at Collective CCG on IG. And everything else, any more questions, you can contact me directly on Twitter at JokerFan, or you can contact me directly on Instagram at JokerFan1969. Till next time, this is Will. Peace, love, and